here in Bristol, Virginia. And now, I'm in Bristol, Tennessee. No matter which state in the country you live in, you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. And now I'm in, Virginia Sea.
See how much you could save on car insurance.
State in the country you live in, you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. And now... Geico.
Hello?
Yeah. Can I play Korea?
Play whoever you want.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. Okay. Can I play Korea?
Okay. Play whoever you want.
Are you
So yeah, just play whoever you want.
Oh, so this is just everyone?
I think there's gonna be one more person coming.
Okay.
However...
Hello? There you go, man.
Hey.
Masturbator.
Hello?
Hello. Okay, so... Someone might join partway through. Until then, we're gonna be an AI.
Boss, I have the cancer.
Oh, make sure everyone is playing on print difficulty.
Okay.
Did you hear me, Nathan? Or
Hello? Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, play on
Hey,
Prince.
it's Nathan! Daddy!
Play on Prince difficulty.
Oh my god, it's you!
Prince? Oh yeah, I'm already on Prince. I think.
Alright, my friend's insecure about you guys, so I'm gonna leave a Discord chat right when we start game so I can Skype with him.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm probably gonna leave this chat too,
Yeah,
just because like.
I'm almost guaranteed to leave it as well. So make sure. Okay, can you two make sure that both your friends are playing on Prince?
Yeah.
Wait, on Prince or not on Prince?
On Prince.
Everyone's Prince. Just look at chat. Just
Also-
look at it. Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all in Prince.
It's automatically Prince.
Make sure that we do nothing which any parent can get upset at, because I do not want a parent saying, "Hey, these people used one naughty word. I don't think this is a school appropriate club."
Make it historically accurate and funny and quirky, but not offensive.
Yeah, like
Basically. Like fucking idiot.
it's
I'm
bad.
fucking Austria. It's a place in Austria.
Are you sure?
Yes, it is an actual city named fucking.
Can you get me a link on Google Maps?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Just type in fucking Austria on Google and it'll bring you to fucking the village.
Okay then.
Just type in fucking Austria.
Well then, okay. However, just try your best and make sure that, unless it's something historic like the village which Chris was explaining us, you have nothing which might offend someone. Also, can you make sure that both your friends know that? And I mean,
Okay.
like, especially in religions, because
Fine. I'll just say birthplace of Hitler. I'll write Hitler was here.
but you're not Germany, aren't you Poland?
I'm Austria.
Oh. I
Yeah. That's why I'm making all these Austrian jokes. We make the best coffee.
see. Yes,
I've never played Austria once since it.
That's okay.
I'm eating this really, really crappy sandwich and it tastes disgusting. Oh god. Ah!
1 second. I am almost ready to start.
Alright, I'm probably gonna leave this then.
1
See ya.
second. Okay. Make sure that your friend knows. We need to keep everything which no parent can get upset at, because
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
don't
I
want
just told them
because we don't
I told
want,
that it's technically like a school activity,
Yeah.
so he can't say.
we do not want anyone getting upset with our club.
Alright,
Okay? Are we all ready?
alright. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Alright, see ya.
here. The U.S. Bunch of city-states. Austria and Poland, and we are missing one player. More city-states. Oh, the Netherlands are right here. So the Netherlands should be a player, I think. Yeah. So Austria, the Netherlands, Japan, and the US are going to be our human players, while Poland is our AI. Good luck, players. Let's just see a bunch of exploration. Already a scout for Austria. Seems the Netherlands have found a wonderful barbarian. Barbarian. City-state land right here. Even though you never know with Uluru and like a pretty good resources, there could be like 1 to 2 QN cities right here, like one in this region, one right here. Let's check Japan and the US. The US, quite close to the coast, is gonna be useful. Japan on the inland sea. Japan's likely not to have that much competition for like land, or like up here to here, all for Japan, while the US is probably gonna have this entire southern peninsula to themselves. Poland probably have the short end of the stick, like being surrounded by Budapest, Hanoi, and Hong Kong and Malacca, making that its territory, while Vienna had like north of Hanoi, Vilnius, while Amsterdam is within the city-states. And then again, this territory right here. Are there any islands? If there is Mount Krakatoa, you have a disconnect. That's not good. This is not good. We had some trouble, but we are playing on a 6-player map with 5 civs. However, to compensate, we have 3 additional city-states. anything which I don't need open. The player who had some issues connecting is probably, I think he's Japan. Let me check with the warrior. Yeah, he's Japan. We will hopefully get this issue resolved. Okay, so we are rehosting. Internet host game, load game, this invite 1, 2, and I do not have the other 2 on my. hope that this is better than last time. We have Right, we are back. We have Austria already starting to fight a barbarian. Austria and the Dutch have found each other, which are they're pretty close to some barbarians and also a Polish warrior. So it's quite likely that these three find each other quite soon, or these two find Poland. If not already, then the Japanese and Americans will find each other pretty soon as well. The land is so bountiful, and of course, there's Krakatoa right here. 1, 2, 3. So far away. Yes, that's stupid bug. Sorry. Yeah, I completely forgot about that bug. I'm sorry. When someone... Yeah, it's a stupid bug. There's one island. It's a pretty not so good map. Austria is winning as of now, even though I do not know them. Crunchy Chips is Austria. Nathan number Mac 2, I believe is Japan. Yes, that is correct. Adam T is the US, and Kentna is the Dutch. With our wonderful unmet player AI being over. I wish it would show since I see everything because I'm a bit of a... let's see. I wish I could also see what people are producing. However, I'm not able to. I'm not omniscient yet. I can only see what actions people are taking, not building. Let's see. Bratislava. Pretty low. So this is, of course, Civ logic. To and Bratislava, two city-states which overlap their city range. Tundra and desert, of course, Civ logic. Let's see what else. We see Poland going down honor already because they have got a great general, which is enough to guarantee you that they are going down honor because there is a policy in honor which allows a free great general. No, not social. Actually, though, social policies, it is warrior code right here. It is also therefore highly likely that. Oh wait, no, that's not necessarily. Japan settled on first, that means as soon as they get that technology. Demographics. Right. Oh, this is not good. Apparently I'm not able to see all this information, which I'm sorry. This is my third or fourth time doing this, so I'm not so accustomed. colonizer. Where is it? There was something. Religion overview. Beliefs. Nope, I can't cycle them yet. Austria and the Netherlands are still taking their turns. Probably dealing with barbarians. Or Hanoi not here. This would actually be really good territory for Austria to expand to, because there's so many good city locations, like right here, and right here, as well as, which is basically everywhere around them except for these mountains. It's pretty good. Maybe where Hanoi is, it's not so bad because there's only like cacao and a river of good, and the mountains, but yeah. Right. I am going to go check on something. I'm gonna be right back immediately. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the disturbance. I was looking to see if someone was at my door or if that was just the wind. That was just the wind. Menu options, audio. Let's increase. Good. And yeah. Japan probably went Liberty because they already have a worker and population 3, and with really low levels of production, which is probably the free worker in Liberty citizenship right here. We see the I wonder probably the Great Library built in Washington. Is there any other city currently building it? No. However, Poland already has a settler. Probably the one they built because they should not have enough culture to have both warrior code and collective rule right now. So as of now, the U.S. is the only one who's currently building a wonder, the Great Library, which you can tell because there is in the city, near the city, there is this image for the city itself, and then there's also a specific image for the each wonder. For example, this I believe is the image for the Great Library, which is pretty powerful. To show you what it does, it's the Great Library right here. For 123 production, it gives 1 culture turn, which is good, 3 science, which is amazing, a great scientist point, which is really amazing, 2 great works of writing slot, which until later on are useless, and then a free library and a free technology. The free technology is almost always philosophy, which is a lot of free beakers. It's over 1,000 free beakers, which free stuff is always good, especially science, because science allows everything else to be better. It's typically philosophy because the National College is really powerful, just like the Temple is really powerful, and the Oracle are really powerful. Like, philosophy is just a good tech. Like, there's nothing bad in or nothing less good in philosophy. Like, everything which philosophy offers is probably tier F among their style of buildings. Let's close this. Let's see what. However, Japan is almost guaranteed to be making a lot of money. Like, Japan probably has 6 more money than everyone else because the city tile is always going to be producing, and the only tiles which provide 2 food and something are the stone and these 2 cotton, which therefore means that's what Japan is working, which means apart from the 6 food is getting from these 3 tiles, 1, 2, 3, it's also getting 1 bonus production and 4 bonus gold, which, while is a bit light on production, will mean that Japan will get a bit of gold later on, which gold is probably the most versatile resource because it allows you to pivot strategy really quickly. And I just realized I don't think I'll be able to see people with iron, or oh dear, I'm not going to be able to see iron or any other strategic resource, I don't think. Oh, that's not good. So, alright, sorry for the delay, so, Tear of the God, that was, the Dutch, religion overview, belief, sort by religion. So the Dutch got Tear of the God, which means quarries, sorry no, Tear of the God, which means gems and pearls, give +2 faith. Smart move since they've got 3 gems. And looks like there's a barbarian invasion. I thought these were the Dutch, not the Romans, but okay. It's a bit unfortunate that the Netherlands already have a worker. Let's see, the Dutch are Kenta. I don't. Let's see. Guys. Quick vote. Plus or minus. Do you mind if I ask? So this was alright. So we have plus regular barbs. So see it. Okay, I want to, before asking to see if everyone can tell me what they started with, because I want to see if they can all, okay, so they can PM me. uh, 14 EVs-ish. Let's see if we can get which policy people open with, because it'll make understanding the game much easier. Still with the Great Library. Half constructed quarry, but a plantation starting over here. But still no wonders, and a random general from opening honor, which unfortunately Poland did get their settler captured. Salzburg, a second city for Austria, who just purchased a second warrior. That's interesting. Still no wonder if mines, I believe, already constructed for some gems, and a bunch of barbarians on the Netherlands, which I'm used to seeing barbarians go for wrong. Wait, is that a barbarian encampment? Probably with I'm sorry, we have another city for Japan as well. One thing which is truly wonderful is how Gibraltar and Krakatoa are not workable, and there's like 4 natural wonders in this map. There's 5 because there's 2 barrier reefs, and then there's Uluru. Excuse me. Highly likely that someone eventually settles over here. There's gonna be like room for 1 city, right? Like, probably it's gonna be one. It's almost okay. It has to be one of these 2 tiles, because you can't settle cities within 3 tiles of another city, and the city-state blocks anything right here. Bratislava blocks anything right here, and Mombasa blocks anything right here. So it has to be one of these 2 tiles. So eventually someone's probably going to settle one of these 2 tiles to get Uluru. And also someone is probably going to probably the U.S. right here. It's gonna settle the barrier reef. Me. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. All right, wait. So how many? I swear I turned off raging bombs. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 camps in the entire map. Yeah, 2 per player. You can tell a barbarian is in a barbarian camp because normally there's like a camp right around him, but if you see the shields, like if you see the symbol for the barbarian, let's go right here. Over here, this one's a circle, and this one has a shield. Therefore, this one is defended, and in a barbarian camp, that's the only time barbarians will defend themselves. Well, this one's just out in the open. Also, how to read a unit. This red bar right next to, above my cursor, right there, that is the health of a unit from 1 to 100. When it hits 0, the unit is dead. 100, full HP. A unit will also get minus 0.5% combat ability for every HP it's missing. So 100% minus 0. 100 HP minus 0% combat. At 50 HP, you'll get minus 25%, or something like that. I forget the exact number, but I believe it's 0.5% less efficient per HP missing. Right over here, 2 full HP barbarians. This one is a circle, therefore it's out in the open. This one is a shield, therefore it's defending itself in a camp. Okay, let's see. We have a second city for the Dutch as well, expanding into the jungle. Rotterdam buying the bananas probably, since it's highly unlikely that they had that much culture already. Still, no wonder except for the Great Library. Oh, here we have Austria building, I believe this is the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus. Pretty good wonder, gives a bunch of gold and some other things like minor amounts of culture. Full text right here. 1 culture, 1 great merchant, and then a bunch of gold. 2 per turn for each stone and marble, and 100 each time they use a great person. That's power. That's really good. This gold, as I said earlier, pretty versatile. Let's see, RZ. No, the AI do not have any wonders yet. Japan has nothing in their capital and nothing in Osaka, sorry. And again, there's only the library. I know I misspelled cities. It's okay. We have New York founded. I should probably PM this. Washington, who is Washington? Adam Akar. Adam. Let's see. However, interesting in New York, building the Great Lighthouse, I believe. Yeah, I sent it to the right person. Right, scroll down. You can see the wonder that's being built, which is actually pretty cool. This, I believe, is a Great Lighthouse. Just how this is the Great Library. I'm not sure whether this is built or in progress. I'm fairly certain it's in progress because it's not complete. However, I don't know. I've had some unusual wonders be like that. Still no wonders for Poland. And there's just a mausoleum right here for Austria, and nothing for the Netherlands. However, another settler for the Netherlands, which probably means they went Liberty, because Liberty collective rule gives a free settler and a bunch of more bonus production towards building settlers. So the collective rule is a really big pro-settler policy. And seeing how it's turned 45 and the Netherlands already has multiple cities and a settler already on the way, it's highly likely that they went for that. As well as like a decent population size in the capital. Like 3 is actually pretty good considering the start which the Netherlands had, which they just now have 2 good tiles. Good early game tiles is something which gives 2 food and another resource, whether that be a 3rd food, or in the case of cattle, or a production in the case of stone, or even gold in the case of whales, even though gold is less important. It's like half a resource early on, because early on you want hammers, which allow you to build things, and food, which allows you to grow. Population means more science, production means more everything else. That's why it's important. Are there any other islands? There's one island right here. I mean, I would probably settle this island. It's not a bad. This is I don't know. Were there more islands that I would like this map more? Poland finally settled Krakow. RIP Poland. Poland got screwed with the barbarian taking their settler very early on. Sorry, Poland. Okay. I'm sorry. Krakatoa and Gibraltar are really tilting. Like they're like especially Gibraltar, because Gibraltar is 4 tiles away, which means no city will be from the closest land tile, which means no city will ever be able to build like work Gibraltar. So yeah, that's gonna be very fun. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Krakatoa is 5 tiles away, so because the city can work anything within 3 tiles, but so Kyoto can work up to this tile and not this tile, because this tile is 1, 2, 3. So this tile is fine, but Kyoto will not be able to work this tile because 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. People do not seem to want to rename cities this game. Amsterdam, Rotterdam. It's so weird seeing Amsterdam itself and not Hamsterdam. Like a dam made out of hamsters. Because typically that's what my friends mean Amsterdam too. Although this is a nice river, it starts all the way in the north with near these sheep and this hill, and it just flows down to Warsaw, all the way to the rocks, almost to Amsterdam. So one river almost spans 2 capitals. That's just fun. I wish I could scroll out a bit more, but meh. Ooh, barbarians have spearmen already, which Austria does have a spearman as well. However, that's likely to be a spearman a warrior which found a rune. So many barbarian hand axes. These are really not fun to deal with because they are stronger than almost everything there is early game. Like the only units which are stronger than the hand axes in either melee or ranged are the bowmen, like not bowmen, spearmen, which have 11 compared to 9. However, like warriors have strength 8, hand axes have strength 9. Archers are 5-7 for melee ranged. Hand axes are 9-9 for melee ranged. So hand axes are really not fun to deal with. And having hand axes already spawn is not good. However, they are attacking Monaco and Almaty, which are city-states, which are not the players. So that's probably the best thing that hand axes could be doing right now. Someone is right here, so that means someone is probably negative happiness. Okay, let's look at the resources which everyone has. The Netherlands, they have their capital whales and gems as their luxuries. Someone God of Protection. The Netherlands already had their pantheon. Austria doesn't. Kyoto. So Japan. Japan got the goddess of protection. You can tell if a city has a religion or pantheon because if you look, okay, let's look at the city breakdown of. There is this is the city thing. So up here is a number. That's a shield and a number. That's how much defense. That's the melee combat power of a city. So when calculating how much damage something deals, you calculate the beginning number and the final number. Ooh, and it looks like someone is building the pyramid. The pyramid is actually plural, which that's very interesting. However, getting back to the city, right here up on the top is the city, the defense. So when dealing combat damage, you calculate compared to two numbers, your strength versus their strength. You always compare whatever strength you're attacking with, melee, range, to their melee strength. Right here is the population, so how many people are in the city. That's important because a city can work a number of tiles equal to their population plus 1. So a city always works this city tile. So Washington always works this tile. Kyoto always works this tile, etc. And then 3 more because it has a population of 3, or 7 more because Kyoto has a population of 7. That's this number right here. Then let's compare New York and Washington. There's a name in the background, and then there's the symbol of the civilization. So the symbol and the coloring and the script color itself, they're all are specific to the civilization. For example, the U.S. is white and blue. Japan is red and white. Austria is red and white, inverse to Japan, etc. So, yeah. And then if there's a star, that means that city is a capital. No, not loading. Don't be loading. While the stream is loading, I will be right back. Let's see. It missed not much, just Austria settling Graz. which I probably horribly mispronounced. If there are any questions, please, just feel free to ask them. I will try to look at the Twitch chat, like, every couple turns or so. Krakow. Wait, what? Austria conquered Krakow, so Austria was at war with, or still is at war with, Warsaw, so with Austria, crunchy. Was that a peace deal or? Okay, so that was a peace deal. So, yeah, that's what the AI will tend to do. The AI will tend to give up cities if it's losing a fight. So the U.S. finished building the Great Library and finished building the pyramids as well. And it's still building the Great Lighthouse. So the U.S. is going to be a lot of wonders. It's going to be wonderful, literally. Sorry for the pun, I just had to make it. And if Japan, like, settles over here, it's gonna completely cut it, and, like, if Japan comes in settling over here, it's gonna cut the US off, and gonna essentially create 2 players worth of space for itself. Which is not bad. I mean, it's not like a bunch of city-states. You can conquer a bunch of city-states eventually. Did Austria complete the, yeah, Austria completed the mausoleum. Let's see. The pyramids is a powerful wonder because right here, the pyramids give a culture turn, 1 great engineer point a turn, and a culture a turn is always good because culture is really important. It allows you to get rationalism, which I will explain later on, and allows you to also, whatchamacallit, get the ideologies. And great engineer points, eventually you'll get a great engineer with great engineer points, probably 2 or 3 over the course of a game. And they're really powerful because they allow you to insta-build a great wonder, or at least in 2 turns. And specifically, the pyramid gives you 2 free workers and allows your workers to finish things 25% quicker. So that's really powerful. Even if it only allowed everything at 25% quicker, that would still be really strong. Because it allows you to build 4 improvements in the time it takes for them to build 3. Opponents build 3. And the Great Lighthouse, it might seem like a good idea now, however, knowing the entire map, it's pretty useless because the Great Lighthouse right here gives a great merchant point and culture. Again, similar to the great engineer point, great merchant points are good because merchants allow you to get more money, and money is versatile. However, the Great Lighthouse allows all of your ships to move faster, and that's pretty overall useless giving the map. So that's because I have perfect vision. Without perfect vision, it probably seems much more useful than it actually is. That being said, it will probably allow the finding of Krakatoa and Gibraltar to be easier. So, why finding Krakatoa and Gibraltar is important is because finding a natural wonder like Gibraltar, Krakatoa, and the other ones in this map are Uluru right here and the two instances of the Great Barrier Reef, which are technically called the same, however, are two different tiles. But whenever you find a Great Wonder, you get +1 happiness. Happiness basically limits how much you can grow by. Let's have the missing. Did someone build it? The Dutch completed the Great Lighthouse. And they also are building another wonder right here. I cannot tell what that wonder is. I believe it's the Temple of Artemis, actually. The Temple of Artemis is one of the most powerful wonders right here. Because apart from culture and engineering, it also gives plus 10% growth in all cities. That means you grow 10% quicker, which means you have about... In the early game, that means plus 10% population. It'll decrease as the game becomes longer, but early on, that plus 10% population is really powerful. The plus 15% production for ranged units is useless. Like, it exists, but might as well not exist because it's so irrelevant because ranged units are not something which people tend to build that much of. So it might be like, let's see, 15% of 50 is, let's see, the 15 is 3 out of 20, that means, oh dear, doing math in my head, no, I can't do this, calculator, let's see, calculator plus, let's see, 0.15 times 50 equals 7.5 production off of each composite bowman. That's like less than a turn of worth of production. And the last ranged unit in the game, because eventually ranged units stop being ranged and they become gunpowder. Let's see. Crossbowman, 80. So 1.15 times 80, 12. It's a quarter of a turn of crossbowmen. They're not that much. So while it seems like a lot, the 15% less from building ranged units is really overall almost irrelevant. Just based off the sheer amount of territory which Japan have, albeit some of it desert and useless, it's highly likely that Japan won tradition, because tradition gives more culture. Let's see. Pole. Someone found it through of polio, then Dutch. Let's see, what does polio, the religion, give? Let's see, religion overview. Tithe, which is the best founder, I believe, hands down, because it gave the more people there are which follow your religion, the more money you get. Tears of the God, which we saw earlier, and then +1 production per follower is pretty good. Late game, like mid game especially, not necessarily late game, because late game you'll have like 30 people following your religion. So, and religious followers is capped at plus 15%, so 1% per follower. 30 followers, it would be 30%, but maximum 15%. So falls off late game after 15 population or 15 followers. That's generally around 16 to 18 population. So this is gonna be really good mid game, pretty bad after the like industrial, especially after the modern era. There is Poland settling woods. No one has renamed any cities yet. I'm actually a bit surprised. Also, score is how many points someone has is really misleading, because here it says how the Dutch have many more points than have 50 more points than the next highest person, Austria, even though Austria and the Netherlands, like the Netherlands just doing slightly better than Austria. That is because religion and number of cities artificially like inflate the amount of points someone has by so much. Triremes are the basic naval unit, while workboats are the naval equivalent of workers. So, triremes can explore, while workboats create naval improvements. So, Krakow is a puppet now. And Japan is trading with Krakow. I wonder how much money they're making. Probably some science as well. How trading works, it's basically worth different amount. Like, it calculates how many resources you have and how many resources your opponents have, and only counts the ones which are different, and then calculates it based off a formula which is complicated. And then that's for money, and for science it calculates whichever person has a higher tier of tourism, and it gives the person with the higher tier number of science equal to the difference in levels. And then it also gives you half science for every technology your opponent has which you do not. Same for your opponent. I mean, half a beaker per turn. Those are international trade routes. Domestic trade routes are between the same city, or cities of the same civilization. So it would be between like Kyoto and Osaka, since they're both Japan, and it will be worth a certain amount of food or production per turn, net gain, which means it doesn't cost anything to give except that it takes a caravan or cargo ship to do it. There's an unnatural. There's different types of resources in this game, and one of them, salt, is probably the best resource in the game because when improved, it gives 3 food, 2 production, and 1 gold. For the record, like 3 food and 1 production is really good, and salt gives an additional production and food. So this is a really good resource, and there's like a lot of, like a decent amount of salt. So Austria has ballista, which are a unique unit to Rome. So that means there is a military city-state somewhere, which gives, because each city-state is one of 5 types. There's mercantile, cultural, maritime, religious, and militaristic. Almaty is militaristic, Byblos is maritime, Malacca is mercantile, and Brussels cultural. There are no religious city states. Basically, every how city states work is if you have enough influence with them, which you get by doing quests or giving them money, you become friends or eventually allies with them. And if you're friends, they give you each turn they give you a certain amount of things in your capital. So, for example, cultural gives you 3 culture in your capital if you're friends. While if you're allied with them, they give you much more. And if you're that's 4 of the city states: mercantile, cultural, villages, and maritime. Military city states instead, how they work is if you're friends, once in every 34 turns, they give you a military unit of the highest tech of possible military unit. And if you're allied with them, it's once every 17 turns instead. If you're allied with them, you also can have the chance of getting a unique unit. That's a unit specific to one civilization, which is not your civilization. So, probably Austria got allied with Hanoi, which is a military, which probably is why they have ballista, which are typically only a Roman thing. Someone got Sacred Pass. Let's see, it's not Austria, because it's Poland. You can tell because right here is the symbol of a pantheon, the lightning bolt. While this symbol is a symbol of a religion, which Pole-O, so it's probably a reference to Poland. Okay, it will be ethical to conquer an AI, then. Jungle Path, Warsaw. So, if only Stuart were here, he would be very happy. getting a bit dark for you, bro. Right now. So. Alright, apparently someone is a genius, apparently. Any more wonders being built? The Oracle currently being built in Washington, and Stonehenge in Kyoto. Nothing in Krakow or Łódź. Warsaw or Łódź. Krakow, since it's a puppeted city, cannot build wonders because you cannot control a puppeted city. The AI chooses for you, and it will never choose a wonder. So, puppeted cities are never gonna be able to build a wonders. Utrecht has nothing. Neither does Amsterdam, no Rotterdam. Wait, what is that? Oh, Rotterdam is building a wonder. It's too small, I cannot tell what it is. It's half covered by the forest, which is unfortunate. Let's see. So, let's use process of elimination. Let's see. It's going to be here. It could be the Pantheon. Yeah, it seems like the only one it can be is the Pantheon, so it's probably the Pantheon. Nothing new in Vienna. Okay. Austria is looking to set up a war. Actually, Austria is at war with Poland. Rip Poland. Poland's almost certainly gonna be dead because there are two ballista, which are siege units, which are really powerful versus cities, but really weak versus everything else. Or at least everything of the same era. If you have artillery, they'll be really strong versus knights because artillery are industrial while knights are medieval, so that a technology gap will be. Yeah. 120 damage. Cities don't have that much HP. 120 damage just from V2 ballista. Ballista, I should say. It's really nice. You can see the city burning. There's something was being built. Probably this hanging gardens, maybe, question mark. Wait, did anyone build a statue of Zeus? No one's built a statue of Zeus yet, so that might be what is being built in Rotterdam. However, highly unlikely since the statue of Zeus requires honor, which is overall considered to be less powerful than most of the other options, because while honor does give some nice aspects, like professional army is really powerful, military caste, and military tradition, everything else which honor gives is pretty crap. So people typically don't go honor unless they just have like 3 or 4 policies to throw away. People tend to prefer starting with tradition or liberty. Tradition if they want to play more of a centralized empire, and liberty if they want to play more a decentralized empire. And they typically tend afterwards to get either piety, commerce, exploration, or aesthetics, one of these 4. piety if you want to just be one of those religious zealots and just only focus on religion. Aesthetics is if you just want culture, or if you're Persia. Persia, it works really well with artistic genius and something else. Another thing on aesthetics, I forget exactly which one. It's been a while since I've played Persia, so sorry. But Persia works really well with aesthetics because of what Persia gets. More golden ages, better golden ages. And that's basically what they abuse aesthetics for. Commerce is if you want money, and exploration is if you're coastal. So really these are, it's really piety, exploration, or aesthetics, and if none of them are good, commerce. So, and then people end with rationalism and ideology. Poland is almost eliminated. And let's see. When you take over a city, you have typically 4 options. You have either burning to the ground, you can puppet it, you can annex it, or sometimes you can release it if someone else conquered the city before you. So, however, for capitals, you can never burn original capitals. So, in this case, original capitals would be Warsaw, Vienna, Amsterdam, Kyoto, and Washington, because those were the first cities of a civilization, which means that a civilization always needs to have at least one city which they founded, regardless of who controls it. So, you can never burn the original capitals. For balance. Now, after taking Warsaw, it's highly likely that Austria is gonna go kill Watts, which, if they manage to do so, that will leave Austria in a pretty good position because they're gonna have 2 players worth of resources, which is twice as much as everyone else, which is pretty good if they're managed to like successfully develop this all this land into something decent. Because at the end of the day, having lots of land is meaningless if it's not developed or worked upon, because plains are worth 1 food, 1 hammer, which is okay, but it's nothing compared to, let's say, over here, improved cattle, which are 3 food and 1 production. So, while Austria does some conquering, I'm gonna go over the text tree and try to explain when people tend to conquer. So, people tend to conquer when they have a power spike, so when they are more powerful than the opponent. So, that's typically when people get chariot archers, because they're highly mobile and pretty powerful ranged units. 10 ranged strength is much higher than almost anything in the early, like, ancient and classical eras. Like, for comparison, composite bowmen are only 11, and they're what the computer thinks are the best ranged units. So, typically, chariot archers are the first time people want to actually go conquer. Also, because people tend to get them very closely to when they get horsemen, which are highly mobile and really good at actually taking cities. Like, assuming you have a good support system of chariot archers. Another time is Langschnetz and pikemen, which are the same thing. One are produced, one are purchased. Which are really efficient, and they're the best melee unit, up to the medieval era. Another time for the sea is frigates and privateers. Frigates, because on the seas, there's the only way you can beat frigates is with more frigates. So frigates are really powerful, and privateers are needed to actually take over a city. Someone founded a religion of anime. Probably Japan. Yeah, Japan founded anime. Let's see, religion overview. Anime gives initiation rites, which give a buttload of gold immediately, so it's way much more gold than Tithe. However, it's all at once, while Tithe is a tiny bit of gold, but each turn. So Tithe is typically better. However, initiation rights, assuming you've got like 4, 5, 6 cities, can be better than Tithe in a shorter game. Pagodas, they're a special building which you buy with faith, the religious resource, which gives a bunch of faith, a bunch of culture, and some happiness. They're pretty good. If you don't know what to get as a follower belief, pagodas and mosques are typically the two general default options. And Goddess of Protection, or more city ranged combat strength, is always not bad. Getting back to the military units, after frigates and privateers, another really powerful time is artillery, because unlike all previous ranged units, they've got a range of 3, not 2, so they can fire at cities outside of city range. Cities can attack units within range 2, while artillery can attack units within range 3. Meaning they can attack cities without being attacked back. And one last thing are submarines for naval units, and bombers and fighters, because air superiority is really good. And then of course there's atomic bombs and nuclear missiles, which never hurt, just like having like the IRL. They're a pretty good deterrent, but they're also really efficient at killing things. So while they may be a bit questionable ethically, they're efficient. And then of course at the end there's giant death robots, which who doesn't want a giant death robot? Kyoto has built over right here, we can see the Great Wall, which basically means anyone trying to conquer or move their units inside Japanese territory before the Japan discovers the technology dynamite, they get one more cost of movement. So basically everything moves slower inside the Japanese territory because of the Great Wall. Rip Poland. Poland have one warrior left. So complete kills are on, which means someone will stay in the game until all of their units and cities, not or, it's and or cities are destroyed. Typically, you just need to destroy all the cities for someone to be eliminated. However, with complete kills, you need to just destroy all of the cities. So now there are only 4 players, because Poland literally has one warrior, which is almost dead. So I would not be surprised to see Austria kill the warrior quickly. So, apparently Japan plans 2. Via badly recorded English dub, spread the wonderful religion of anime to the US. I like that idea. Only if it were something, I don't know, like something probably more cultural like manga would probably be much more appreciated. I am returned. Let's see. Someone found the Pantheon. That was probably Poland. Let's see. Messenger of the Gods. A Pantheon, which is typically good if you have many cities. However, not that good if you don't have cities, because it gives 2 science per city connection with the capital. So it would be 2 science with city connected directly or indirectly to Vienna. So it would be if Graz were connected and Salzburg were connected, and like Graz Vienna Road, Salzburg Vienna Rome, and then there were like Krakow Warsaw Salzburg Vienna, that road, that would also connect all the cities. We currently have the zealots in Japan trying to spread the religion of anime across the world. Don't get too hot. Sorry. The fan of my computer was getting a bit dusty. Let's see. The music in this game is really good. Like, many people have probably already stated this, but the music in Civ is like among the best music in video gaming, in my opinion. Again, if there are any questions, please put them in chat. I'd be happy to answer them. Farming police? Yeah. It's so annoying how I can't see how everything is finished, because I technically didn't finish agriculture, which means I didn't see what is... Like, I don't know what farming is, so... Oh, dear. Wrong button. We have some more barbarian issues with Japan, which Japan seems to be building up a fourth, which will be able to eventually push out the barbarians. Probably if they focus their efforts on one camp at a time, Japan could be able to do it now and like heal up their troops. But after that, enhance religion. Ooh, there's a problem. Yeah, so in memory of the late Poland. Let's see, religion overview. Poland, or the Polish religion, which is called Polo, which is just a reference to Poland, but never know. Religious texts, it spreads faster, which is really good. A nice way to get your religion out there, which, especially if you have tithe, is really powerful because basically this means 50% more people will have your religion compared to as before, which basically means that tithe is going to give you 50% more gold, so it's going to give you, say, 24 instead of 16 gold per turn. And then the other part is cathedrals. Cathedrals are nice. You can purchase them for 130 faith plus 30x plus 10x ish or something like that. 130 plus 30x plus 10x squared or something like that, where x is the difference between your era and the era in which you founded the religion, and or something very similar to that, where cathedrals give one faith, one culture, one happiness, pretty decent, but they also give one slot for great art, which is really nice because early on you have only your palace and maybe your national epic. I forget. I don't really play that much with culture, with tourism, but it gives another slot of great art, which you really don't have that many before you have museums. So that's really useful. Upgrading the ballista trebs, that's powerful. And the military buildup in the Netherlands, a bunch of spearmen, which, given how many siege units the Austria have, the pikemen do not seem to be quite that powerful. However, yeah, the Dutch already having gigantic population. Turn 100, essentially 15 population in the capital and 10 population in a secondary city is really, really good. Typically, you want by turn 100, 10 population in your capital, maybe 12 if you're going tradition. But Utrecht and Amsterdam have been feeding each other, which basically means they have been getting, especially with naval trade routes, which give twice the food and production of overland trade routes. That basically means that the Dutch are growing really quickly, really a lot. Like, let's compare the Dutch cities to the Austrian cities. 15 capital to 11 capital, 14 secondary city to 9, 11 to third city to 10. This is a big difference. That's a total of plus 4 plus 6, that's 10 plus 1, that's 11 more people in the Netherlands than in Austria. That's a lot of free stuff, like in just the Austrian. I'm not going to count Warsaw and Krakow because they're technically puppeted, which means they're not directly controllable, which means while they technically exist, they essentially don't because you cannot control them. The US is doing terrible in terms of population growth because they have 5 and 2 as their population sizes, which a 5 capital like is, if you ignore Warsaw, which was conquered like 20 turns ago, when a city is conquered, it loses half its population. So if you ignore Warsaw, Washington is the second lowest population in the game. And the reason you should ignore Warsaw is because it was conquered like 20 turns ago, and conquering a city reduces its population by half. So, and of course, the only city with a population lower than Washington is New York, and now Boston. New York, the other city, American city, and Boston founded literally this term. So, the U.S. does not seem to be doing so well, unless the U.S. can somehow manage to get up, like, to pull out of thin air, like, at least 5 or 6 cities. It does not seem like the U.S. is gonna be able to be that competitive later on. Especially considering the U.S. lacks a religion of its own, which, if you do not know, a religion is a bunch of free stats. Like, the reason it's really important to have a religion is because a religion will give you so much free stuff. And speaking of religion giving free stuff, here we see a missionary, Japanese missionary for the religion anime, spreading the religion of anime to Biblios, a city-state. And now it's moving up towards Sofia. And here we still see a barbarian with the settler, which used to be Polish, but now it's no longer because Poland doesn't exist anymore. It looks like Poland cannot into space. The one thing which I am not used to seeing is all this open space. Like, there can be a city here, multiple cities in this area, like probably 2 or 3, as well as another city or 2 in this region. Another, like, 4 up to, probably more like 2 comfortably, 4 if you squeeze them in. And then like 2 or 3 more cities down here, and then 2 more cities down here. It feels so weird seeing this much open space this late in the game. Typically by now I would have imagined it all be filled. Same for like this island right here. I would also imagine that Austria settled here because it's actually a pretty good sitting location because it's coastal, so it allows you to basically control all the until people get up astronomy, which allows them to sail the ocean. It allows you to control basically the flow between continents. So I'm surprised Austria did not get it yet. It was also a really good place to just repair naval units. So while the city would be pretty crap, it would provide a really good strategic depth for Austria. So let's get back to seeing how anime was being spread. It seems how anime was not spread to Sofia. Instead, did it get captured by barbarians? No. It was taken by barbarians and then recaptured by Biblios. So the missionary seems to be safe under Biblian rule. However, will probably not spread religion after all. Japan has not yet dealt with either of the barbarian camps. However, there are only 2 warriors left, where compared to the 2 spearmen are upright inferior, because warriors are only strength 8 while spearmen are much better. The US is expanding, and while Washington may still be a very low population city, it's somewhat catching up. It's half the population of Vienna now, compared to a third, which was like a few turns ago. So that's always good. Philadelphia is actually in a really good location, especially if you consider it's on the desert, which means it's improving the desert, because a city will always work at city tile, and that means a city tile will always provide at least 2 food and 1 production, no matter what. Even if it's a 0 resource tile, it will be automatically increased just because it's a city tile. So settling on a city is typically a really good idea. The US is going to have to really worry about improving its cities, because as of now, it's really not likely that the US is going to be competitive, because the US only has 4 cities, compare Austria has 5, and the US cities are highly underpopulated and overall underdeveloped. Compare that to Austria, which Austria has really high population cities. Like, they're not the Netherlands level, but they're almost like, the Netherlands are really just ridiculous. They have civil service and a bunch of farms on rivers, while Austria doesn't really have all those farms yet. So Austria needs to worry about improving its, especially its 3 main cities. If Austria can do that, then Austria is really likely to like be one of the biggest competitors. Same for the Netherlands. Japan needs. Japan as of now is likely to go. Japan is gonna go. It's either gonna conquer the U.S. and develop this territory, or it's gonna just try to go culture. What? But if Japan doesn't go culture, then it's most likely gonna be a battle between the Austria and the Dutch. The Dutch, probably the first great scientist of the game, probably gonna plant him and make a whatchamacallit with the great scientist, and they're probably gonna make an academy, which just is a tile which gives a buttload of science. It gives nothing other than science and what the tile gave previously. However, the science it gives is a lot of science, and really good. So yeah, probably next turn we're gonna see the scientists become an academy, which... And I did not notice how Amsterdam just became 18 and Rotterdam was 18 already, so that speaks to the power of civil service farms they're just gigantic population. I would not be surprised to see Rotterdam become the primary specialist city for the Netherlands, because Rotterdam just has so much food. However, to be fair, if the Dutch settle like cities 1 and 2, they will probably make Amsterdam, because these coastal cities would provide more trade, like food trade routes, naval trade routes to the capital, which is a lot of extra food. They're about 9 or so food per naval trade route, increased to about 13 per turn, of course. If the player were to also have the Iron Curtain ideology trait. For Machu Picchu, you need to own the mountain tile within 2 tiles of your capital. So, within a city you're gonna build it, not necessarily your capital. So, Washington could build it because there's a mountain 2 tiles away from Washington, but Kyoto could not, because the mountain is 3 tiles away. So, and also you need to own it. So, right here, Graz can go 2 mountain, and so it's building Machu Picchu. If you see, Machu Picchu is right up there, while Rotterdam 2, the mountain is in 2 tiles. However, it's not owned, so Rotterdam cannot build the Machu Picchu. Which I would say Machu Picchu is a pretty good wonder. Let's go see what Machu Picchu does. Open tech tree. Machu Picchu is down here somewhere. Guilds. Machu Picchu, 201 production, so that's on par with all the other wonders of the time. Chichen Itza, Mosques of Jin, Hagia Sophia, and Borobudur. It gives 2 faith, which I personally find really useful because I really tend to value religion highly. Some people who value religion low, like not at all, might find the 2 faith irrelevant. It gives 5 gold, which, especially if you're going wider and want a more decentralized empire, is really useful. 1 green merchant point a turn by this time is gonna probably only give you like +1 merchant, maybe +2 if you stack them up all the multipliers. And then plus 25% gold from city connections is basically gonna cancel out the cost of roads. So it's gonna basically make city connections free, assuming you have them in the most efficient manner. So yeah, that's why Machu Picchu is blue. Like, even if Austria were to get to Machu Picchu, it still would not provide that much bonus, because Machu Picchu doesn't provide bonuses if you don't have roads. I mean, it gives 2 faith, which is good, and 5 gold. That's not to be underestimated. However, the majority of it is essentially making roads which connect your cities free, which without road is useless. So, I'm sorry. So even so, that's probably not going to be enough to counteract the gigantic population boom which the Netherlands are having. The Netherlands currently have so much population. They have 53 population, while the next highest, I believe, is Austria with 49. So with 3 cities, they have 4 more people than the 5 cities of Austria. They've got so many more people. They've got 16 more people than, or 26 more people than in Japan, and 13, 19. They have about 3 times the population of the US. So, the Netherlands are gonna be really, really scary late game, just because they've got so many people. Because each population basically allows you to do more stuff, as well as gives you more science. So, as of now, I would be highly surprised if anyone other than the Netherlands win. That is, barring the Netherlands get completely deprived of any uranium and someone decides to have a nuclear war. So, assuming that there is uranium within Dutch territory, it's pretty likely that the Netherlands are going to win. However, some way, Japan could theoretically try to get a culture victory, and Austria is going to probably... Austria got Brussels. Austria has a unique ability, which I will explain as soon as I finish seeing how each city will win. Austria probably is going to... If Austria is going to win, they're going to win diplomatically, and it's very unlikely that the US win. However, their most likely win condition would be diplomatic as well. And for the Netherlands, they're probably going to win a scientific victory because each person gives more science because of the theory of collective learning. If you want to hear why the game gives science for people, it's collective learning, which I will allow you to search on Wikipedia for the exact details of it, but in short, basically means more people who think, which basically means more people who might get an idea. So, because of that idea, people give science, and so it's highly likely that the Dutch win a scientific victory. However, the Austrians have a pretty good chance of winning a diplomatic victory because of basically Austria's unique passive, Habsburg marriage, which allows them to basically take over city-states by giving them a bunch of money. Which, if they just don't do the last step and don't commit the final 500 gold worth of the investment, they have allies in the city-states, and these city-states will vote for them to be in the World Congress and the UN, which every other UN meeting, which late game is once every 12 turns, you vote to see who becomes UN president, and if someone wins a certain amount of votes, I believe it is something along the lines of 66% of all total votes, they become UN president, and they win a diplomatic victory. So you win. Let's go over victories. So there are five victory conditions: military, diplomacy, science, culture, and time. Time is disabled, so essentially you can count it off. However, it will be after a certain amount of time, by default set in the year, whenever the game reaches the year 2050, the game ends and whoever has the highest score wins. Military is military is whoever controls all the original capitals of the game at the time wins. Okay. Science is first person to send a spaceship to Alpha Centauri by completing the spaceship science project and by building all the 6 parts of the spaceship. And diplomacy is being elected UN president, and culture is by spreading your blue jeans and pop music to all the other civilizations. So, as of now, it's most likely that Japan... So, as of now, the Netherlands are probably going to... I would say that as of now, the Netherlands are going to be winning by a science victory. However, it's not unlikely... I don't see it impossible for Austria to win diplomatically or Japan to win culturally. And it's a bit of a stretch, but the US might be able to win if they go culturally. Of course, anyone can still do anything. If you have all the uranium or half the uranium of the world, a nuclear war would be very easy for you, and a military victory would be very easy. Someone enhanced the anime, so let's see what they enhanced it with. They got just war. They basically make that defensive wars are much stronger, and also offensive wars and people who follow the religion. So basically, fighting near the cities which have anime, the religion, is gonna be good. And they have Sword into Plowshare, which is more growth if they are at peace, which these two combined tell me that Japan wants to be very defensive and not wants to be the aggressor for many things. So Japan is trying to actively not be an aggressor and actively be peaceful. And so that's telling me Japan does not want to go for military victory. And also wants to try to avoid people going for military victory. So the World Congress was founded. World Congress. So how the World Congress is, whoever is the first person to get printing press and find all the people, in this case Japan, they found the World Congress, and they basically become the first host. And basically they get an extra vote because they're the host, and then everyone gets one vote, and then you just vote. It's like the UN. So there are proposals. Japan proposed to make anime the world religion, which basically makes anyone who follows anime get more influence as in both tourism, which is the measurement of culture, of how you win a culture victory by getting more tourism to everyone, as well as more delegates in the World Congress. While the US thinks you need a standing army tax, which means you have to pay more money to have your units. So, let's see. Assuming that Japan spreads the religion of anime to the US, it's gonna be both in Japan and US favor to vote for having the anime being the world religion, which, since every resolution needs more people to vote yes than to vote no on it to pass, that means if one person votes yes, if there's one yes vote and 0 no votes for a resolution, it's gonna pass. Just like it means if there's 3 yes votes and 5 votes total, that resolution is gonna pass no matter what, because there's 2 votes which are not accounted for, and if 3 of them are yes, 2 is less than 3, so even if they all vote no, it'll still be passed. So if Japan votes 2 in favor of yes for the anime world religion, and they spread the anime to the US, then it's I'm fairly certain that it's gonna pass, and that's probably gonna be the first step towards Japan winning a cultural victory, which is really smart on Japan's part. It would be really smart if they spread their religion to the US to convince them to vote for it, because it's gonna give them more influence in the World Congress, making it harder to repeal later on, which is gonna be really useful for Japan to win a cultural victory. So if Japan were to spread anime to the US and then get anime as the world religion, I can easily see Japan being the second most likely to win, again after the Dutch winning their space race victory, because the Dutch population is just growing much faster than any other population, and more people means more science, means faster technological advancement, means more technology, which basically means more ability to research things, which in short just means reaching the end of the tech tree faster, which means getting to spaceships faster. So it's going to be about 10 more minutes before one of our players needs to go, so once the player needs to go, we will save and we will continue back tomorrow, because people cannot play a full game of one sitting. Understandable, it's long. here we have Dutch sea beggars, which okay, how one thing which about this game is each civ has a unique ability which is always present, or a unique unit, and then a unique something else, which can be a unit, can be a building, which is a unique unit and unique something else to replace another unit. So the Dutch have the sea beggar, which replaces the privateers, which are just privateers only starting with multiple promotions, making them already from the beginning, making them stronger at invading cities. So yeah. See, so I want to know because okay, so it's the Dutch probably know of Uluru and Gibraltar. I don't think anyone knows of Krakatoa. Austria probably knows of Uluru, and maybe also Gibraltar because they are good friends with the Dutch and they probably talk among themselves. And the U.S. of course knows about the Great Barrier Reefs because the U.S. Boston has Great Barrier Reefs, which, especially for Spain, the Great Barrier Reefs are probably the best wonder in the game because they give 4 food. There's 2 of them, and they give 2 food, 1 production, 1 gold, 2 science each. Which, if you double it, because there's 2 of them, there's 4 food, 2 production, 2 gold, and 4 science. That's a lot. That's really good, like really powerful. Keeping a check on the time because there's a player which needs to go at 4:15, so it's 4:06. So we've got about 9 more minutes before I will save the game. Okay. The Dutch. Okay, this should be fine. Okay, so we're gonna start off tomorrow at yeah. Okay. This is okay. I never read this message pop up saying how it was improved. Alright. So we will reach turn 140, which is pretty good. I rarely reach over turn 100, like 70, 80, 100. Pushing it a bit, but when I play multiplayer for the first session, so this much is really good. Like, I'm surprising people manage to like do this much, which I do congratulate them. It's a skill playing multiplayer, and it's very different than single player because of the turn timer, and it's much longer. Because single player is you do whatever you need to do. Oftentimes it'll be very quick. However, not that like quick. So you're not under pressure to do things like each turn very precisely. However, most turns will end much sooner than the timer in single player, but not all. Some will take like 10 minutes. Looks like the Netherlands and Japan are about to go to war. Probably the Dutch declaring war on Japan. Which, if the Dutch manage to win this war, I'm fairly certain it's going to be a Dutch victory. And I would not be surprised to see players concede. However, we are not allowing concession. We are making everyone play out because we are evil. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Yeah. And yeah. However, I'm a bit worried for the Dutch because they do not seem able to win this war. Because they only have Seabaggers, which are melee units, and they do not stack, so they would have to go in against Kyoto one at a time. Which seems really inefficient, and seems highly likely that they're gonna die. They are at war. And yeah. Oh. They can attack. They probably got the promotion. They probably have an armory. Yeah, that's dead Kyoto. Yeah. It's highly unlikely that Japan wins anymore. It's now really likely that I'm assuming that the Dutch are gonna do the same thing to Osaka, like repair their ships. And it's highly likely that the Dutch are gonna win this war. Or it's highly likely that the Dutch are gonna win this game. Not to mention that the Temple of Artemis and the Hanging Gardens are within Dutch territory. The Dutch are really just gonna snowball their lead. Yeah. Yeah, this is the power of a gigantic population. Like, the Netherlands are so much more technologically advanced than everyone. Like, the smallest Dutch city is like, the three largest cities are all Dutch, and the next largest city is smaller. Like, it's the Netherlands have a really, really good chance of winning. Like, they would need to throw so hard for them to lose. Like, the U.S. is still at the Bowman, while the Dutch are, I believe they're at they're crossbowmen, and they're at Seebeggars, while I believe Austria is still at triremes. So yeah, and then the U.S. has just nothing. Like, has literally 2 military units. So yeah, it's really hard. It's almost impossible for anyone. Okay, GG for now.